What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and for those of you who are new to the channel, I want to say welcome. We do all kind of fun videos like we were about to do. We also do a lot of drag racing. We do our job, everything we can possibly do to make the dyno tuning experience knowledgeable and fun for you guys. So anyways, today we have a 2019 Kawasaki ZX-6R 636 with a Graves full exhaust system. This is a really nice, really high quality exhaust system on a basically brand spanking new bike. So it only has 500 miles on it. It does have a DNA air filter, and we will be flashing the ECU and tuning this bike today all on 93 octane pump gas. So this is a super good looking bike. You see, we almost got the matching More Mafia t-shirt on today just for this bike. So go ahead and comment in the comments below. What do you think this thing is gonna make horsepower wise? I'm kind of excited to do this bike. For those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do know, I myself have a ZX-6R 636. It is a barn find. For you that don't know about it, you can scroll back through some of the other videos in the channel and see some of the details on it. But my bike made pretty big horsepower, and this is a totally new design, brand new bike. So I'm gonna be really interested to see, is it worth it to step up to the new one? And how much did this Graves exhaust help this bike? And then we're gonna see how much the ECU Flash helps this bike. So this bike has a real bad hesitation right now, and we're gonna try to tune all that out. All right, guys, stay with us, here we go. Look at how lean the bike is on the air fuel gauge. Remember, 18.0 is as lean as the dyno will read. 10.0 is as rich as the bike will read for the dyno. Guys, so we just did the baseline pull on the ZX6, 114 horsepower, which is actually really good out of a 600. But what I want to show you is look out here at the power curve. When we get to about 14,000 RPMs, this thing nosedives. So I held it till it did hit the rev limiter, which I know you guys always ask me why I don't do that. And the reason for, hitting the rev limiter is not a good thing. That's not something you want to do to an engine. It's not necessarily good for it. Now, it doesn't necessarily tear it up, but at the end of the day, it's not meant to be done. So anyways, we revved this bike till it did touch the rev limiter, and then you can see it nosedives hard on the horsepower. So we're out here at 114 horsepower, and then as it scrolls across, basically it drops all the way down to 65 horsepower when it hits red line. Now you can see our air fuel curve is super wavy as well. And then out here, then it immediately cuts all the fuel away from the bike when it gets close to red line. Let me go in here into the ECU and show you why it does that. So we're going to look at the secondary throttle plates. This is basically where the restrictions are in the bike. So this is throttle percentage, 94% throttle. This is RPMs. So whenever the bike, you twist it wide open, the bike kind of sort of doesn't go wide open. So you see the secondary throttle plates don't open till 100% until 10,000 RPMs. Okay, so basically from, you know, nothing to all the way to 6500, they're still only 83%. So that is a lot of restrictions in the bike. But anyways, the biggest problem is once you get to 12,000, after that, it shuts back down to 63% throttle. So that is a big restriction. That's in first gear. And then of course, as we go through the gears, if we get to the higher gear, we dynoed it in fifth just then, it cuts back to 69% throttle at 14,000 RPMs. So that's a big deal. There's also some timing restrictions in the bike. When we go to the ignition maps, we've got a lot of restrictions in the ignition timing as well. Once it gets past, let's look and see. So as soon as the bike gets past 10,000 RPMs, Kawasaki starts cutting the ignition timing back. So that's another limitation we got in the bike. We're gonna get rid of all that stuff and we're gonna see how much horsepower we can get out of this thing. Stay with us, guys. All right, guys, here we go. So I made a few dyno pulls with this thing, getting the air fuel almost all the way straightened out. It's getting better and better on our horsepower. We're also putting ignition timing in it too, and it's making more and more horsepower. So Kawasaki has really got these things cut back. If you have one of these bikes and you got an exhaust system on it, you gotta get this ECU Flashed done. It's a must. Even if you have a power commander on it to get the fueling right, that is not going to eliminate the restrictions in the ECUs. That's a big deal. Watch what I'm talking about. I can't sit on this bike either, guys. I know you guys really like it when I sit on the bike. But anyways, the way I have to have the ECU plugged in with the location and to get it in and out quick and easy, I don't have a seat anymore. So listen to the way this thing sounds. I'm gonna get you the next pull from a different camera angle. This thing blows some sick flames on these things. all finished up on the 636, and I wanted to show you some of the gains we have. This thing, we ended up with 119.67 horsepower, almost 120, and then we got 48.93 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm gonna pull up the first run file and show you it when we overlay them together to show you the gains that we got out of this thing. So we went from 114 to 119, and we gained everywhere throughout the RPM curve, okay? But what I really want to show you is out here in the high RPMs, above 14,000 RPMs, the gains that we started to get there. So there, where Kawasaki has got us governed back, we went from 80 horsepower to 112. Then we went from 65 to 110. So huge, huge gains by removing the restrictions in the ECU. You can also see how much farther it pulled once we extended the rev limiter and got all the restrictions removed. Super nice, flat, straight air fuel curve now. And this thing turned out to be a big gainer. I want to thank everybody for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. It is totally free to do so. Only 40-something% of the guys watching are subscribed. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. As always, we appreciate you. Check us out, moremafia.com. If you have one of these bikes, you can get your ECU flashed. All you gotta do, go to moremafia.com. There is a ECU flashing page. Has all the instructions of what you need to do to send it in. And as always, guys, we appreciate it. See ya.